Hey everybody, Bill in Thailand. Welcome back. So I have still been working over on this table. I think I have the final track configuration that I want to use on it. Instead of it being a yard, it is more of a industrial area. I've got building kits that I can put in, or I can put in some elevators, I can put in some car shops, so like a service area, businesses. I've got room for like city type buildings here. On the backdrop I can put wall flats, so I'm happy with how this is going to look. So what I'm going to be doing now is just running some trains. I do not have the drops tied in yet, but I'm just going to run and just see how it goes. It should run all right. Find out here in just a minute. A new day dawns in Thailand. Another cool, cloudy day. Good day to be working on the layout. So what I have thought about and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay cork for the tracks, just like I did here, rather than try to take an entire sheet and not really need it. I'm going to put in cork throughout. So I've got most of the layout lines marked, and excuse the shadow. I've got this one sort of just stubbed. I still have to get track, but I will put in flex track as much as I can in areas where I had 2 to 3 pieces of sectional straight track. I will convert that over to flex track. So I'm going to get the cork in and then get the track back on and then think about where I want feeders. And one thing I did find out today is that I really didn't bring excess flex track. I have a few pieces in the other room, but I'm going to end up using probably another 4 pieces on this one section. So next trip back to the States, I will have to take a big suitcase back with me because I will need to bring a thick bundle of N-scale flex track for the other layout. So anyway, that will come at a later time. I will get the cork in and get this project moving along so that later today I can plug in my feeders. I need to buy 2 or 3 toggle switches so that I can have that to isolate the lines that I'm going to do, because I've got that one will be isolated. I'm going to isolate the yard from the mains and maybe do, yeah, so at least 2. And maybe a 3rd. Maybe this track that's going to run right along the power pack. I think that'll be a 3rd point where I'll isolate and have its own power supply. So again, I can have trains sort of sitting, I can bring something into the siding or into this, not yard, but industrial area with a passing siding. And then I can bring a train out and do some movements like that. But more to come. Let's spread down some adhesive and get the cork in place. Sitting at the workbench for a few minutes, I needed to make more feeders. I ran out, and this should be enough to finish up what I'm doing over on the layout. And I'll show you where I'm at on that here in just a minute. Now I have most of the cork in for my little industrial slash staging slash pass-through yard, whatever it might be. And I don't have track glued down yet, same as every place else, but I do have my feeders in place in different locations. I still have to mark this track and then put my cork in, and I'm going to be doing that here in a couple of minutes. But I did replace large tracks of sectional track with flex track. So I pulled out a lot. That pile on top that is going this way all came from this location. I put in blocks. Basically, I left gaps. Right now it's an air gap. I will put in a piece of plastic and cyanoacrylic, put it in place. So I've got to put one there and there. I have one here, which will isolate this bottom line so that I can have a train there. Coming over this way, I've got another one put right here at the intersection of the tables, and then, excuse me, that one there. So I've got 3 blocks on the entire layout. So I've got one, I've got this yard as another, and then this track right through here as another. So I can bring trains in over here, stop, could have a train stage ready to go from here that can go out onto the line. I could have something here, or I could have a train here. I could do other things, but 3 blocks I think is going to be good enough. I don't need it to be too complicated where I'm focusing on just trying to do switching while trains are running. So I think that's good. I'm going to get this marked, and then I'm going to get the cork in and see if I can get my feeders, which I'll put a feeder here, which will help take care of this track. I've got one here, which is for that track already in place up here. Before each switch, basically, I've got a feeder. I'm going to have one here, and then I'm going to have one here. All isolating, or for that line. Got one already in place there, I've got one in place there, so I should have plenty of feeds coming in, so my track should not have any difficulty. But back up a little and you can kind of see what it's looking like. So I'm going to get the cork in, and I'll probably call that a day. Last of the cork is in place, and I've got my feeders dropped. I still have to put my little red arrow, but I added my feeder here, added a feeder here for this line. I've still got my air gap right there, and all of the sides that are gapped are on the exact same. So they are on the red side for feeder color, red and black all the way across, consistent. And then I put another feeder over here just to make sure that this track has plenty on either side of the switch. All tracks have power feeds, so I think I'm going to wrap it up for the day. I will come back tomorrow and then crawl on my back and get underneath the layout to hook up the feeders. Once I get that done, then I'll be running engines in and around here, and if everything's good, I start the glue down. Get my track in place permanently, and then I can do some other things. So making progress. Taken a little time this morning to remove materials from the layout, the portable layout, and bringing them back into the hobby room. You can see how much I've used. I have 2 pieces of flex track left. And that's it. I used up pretty much slightly over half of the cork roadbed that I had. So I think I counted, I've got about 20 something there, and I had about 50. So I used about 28, 29, 30 pieces. I didn't count it accurately. But I'm taking a few minutes getting the layout cleaned up. I still have to wire up the feeders, but all basic construction outside of gluing the track down is done. So I can remove a bunch of tools. I can kind of clean it up, bring excess track, different things in here. So I'm going to be doing that for a little while before going on to the next step. Layout is now cleaned off of all non-needed materials. I do have my stuff to do electrical work, as well as the construction adhesive to glue the track down. So I need to go shopping today, pick up a few electrical supplies, and then I can finish doing my tie-ins with my feeders to my bus line, as well as be able to isolate some sections of track. Once I get the electrical done, and everything runs well, then I'm going to set the track in place permanently. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the portability of this layout, because I will take this layout apart and take it over into the layout room, because I got a lot of work to do on this one yet. And I've just got one table built for the other bigger layout. I'm just going to swap. I'm going to take that table out of the room, bring it over here, and just use it for storage at this point in time. I can take this in, reset it up in that room, and I'll have plenty of room to get around it on all sides. That way I can start to do scenery. I can start to do building construction. I will have my little desk right there. So that is what my plan is. It's been a few days since I last worked on the layout. On that last little segment, you can see how rice is processed. I spent some money a while back, got a machine so that I could process essentially raw rice, fresh from the field that's been dried, into rice that can be eaten. So you kind of got a view of the process. So when you have rice for a meal, it's actually a little bit of work that goes into making it so that you can eat it. And then the product that comes off of the seed, the husk, that can be processed and made into animal food. So a lot of good stuff. So I've been busy with that. But I have spent some time now on the layout. And I do have my blocks isolated. I have almost all of my electrical work done. I still have to put on a few feeders over there, tie them into the bus. But I've used the correct size out of my T-taps. I have to get some more. But I can continue on with the layout even as it sits right now because everything works pretty well. So that little switch, single rocker switch for lighting, here. That one works for the siding on the back of the table. The middle one handles the main switching and the double track with passing siding right there. The far right one handles the siding that is in the front. So I will be able to switch out trains on the layout as I go when I'm operating it. Now I have been running the little Bachmann engine over there, my little Pensy. Been running it and it's been working really well. I've got a few spots where the track is not clean. I'm going to be cleaning that here actually in a few minutes. I've got turpentine. I will use it on a damp paper towel and just kind of rub along the track. I don't have to do much. All of the really dirty track I eliminated when I put in my flex track, so that shouldn't be a problem. Did have a spot over there where the engine derailed going around that curve. Went over to investigate that, and lo and behold, I did not put my track together properly. One track did not go into the rail joiner, so it caused a derailment there. I ran my finger over everything else and I'm good. But it highlights making sure to double check and triple check once you get done. So what I am going to be doing is, like I said, I'm going to be cleaning the track and then running my engines again. I'm comfortable with where I'm at, that I've got good solid track work and good electrical connections. I can start to glue the track down. Another thing that I'm going to do, and I've already got it over into the other room, is I've got my Bachmann train cars, most of them, over in the layout room, which is right over here. And I did buy a little kitchen scale. Of course, it did not come with the battery, and it's a little CR battery, so a little one like a coin. I've got to get that. And then I'm going to start adding weights to my N-scale equipment. And I've got N-scale cars down there as well. So I will be putting little nuts in to add some weight. I'm going to make myself a little conversion chart for grams against NMRA standards, and the potato chips are just there for a snack. So I'm going to be doing that soon too, so that these cars actually ride the rails a little bit better. I have them where they sort of pick the points a little bit on the switches. I need to add just a little bit. I'll get them close to NMRA standards, maybe a little under. And then I've got a lot more that I can do, but just so that they operate better. So a number of different things going on. You'll notice a blender. I'm going to be making my own version of sculpt mold here when I get to the scenery piece, but that'll be coming later, and I'll talk more about that in future videos. But with that, this is good enough. I am going to call it good, and I'm going to get busy doing other things and start the next video. So with that, keep having fun on your layouts. Until next time.